Oh my gosh, you're here.
Welcome to My Chatbot Life, where chatbot marketers share high-converting strategies in this new conversational marketplace. Each week, MKJ introduces you to bot builders who are just like you, a little techie, a little markety, and a whole lot of geeky. Buckle up as Chatbot Mom enjoys another journey into My Chatbot Life.
Hey there, bot buddies. Yes, another conversation. And this time I brought one of my absolutely favorite, loved people on the planet on the show today to chat about what I talked about last week. And that is our conversion method that we use. But let me introduce you to this lovely lady, Alexys Bartok. She is our project manager, our senior project manager for messenger funnels for the whole company and our senior chatbot copywriter. So hey there, Alexys.
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks, Mary.
Yay! Can't wait to get into this because this is what we love, right? You and I both love this part.
Yes, this is our day in and day out what we do. So
this is it. This is day in, day out, exactly what we do. All right. So just to give you, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, please go do so sometime soon because this will make sense if you listen to that. We're going to talk about the building of the thing. That's kind of what I talked about in that episode. This is the building of our conversational marketing adventure. This is where we do the conversational design. All right. So Alexys, the reason I brought her on is because she is absolutely a pro at this. I think she has absolutely surpassed me in being able to do this very, very effectively. And so I had to bring her on and have her talk about some of the little ins and outs and tricks of the trade that she's using. So we're going to do that, right, Alexys? We're ready to go.
Heck yeah, we're ready to spill our secrets.
Spill it. We're going to spill it. Yes, we're going to spill it. Definitely. Yeah. All right. So the building of the bot, basically what we talk about, and just in case you weren't on the last one, this is the PDF or the basic structure. If you're watching this on video, you'll see what I'm holding up is the structure of what we do. And this is how we get bots to convert at a very high level. So this first part, which is the building of the thing, includes 3 different sections. It includes the copy that we put in the bot. It includes the actual structure of the bot itself. And last but not least, but this is the last thing we think about, and that is lead generation, okay? Lots of people, unfortunately, mix that up. And they start with lead generation. And then they have nowhere to send people, or at least where they're sending people is not built out or strategically designed at all. So we don't do that. We strategically design it first, then we look at how do we get people here, okay? So, just a quick question about copy and structure. I know we use ManyChat for our bots. So as we're actually building the bot, we create the copy. Those 2 things happen at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But do you think about it differently? Do you think about what am I going to put copy-wise, and then do you think about the structure of the bot?
Yeah, so really before I was at this point where I didn't, the best way I could put it is I didn't always just use ManyChat. I used to put it all in a Google drawing, and I used to plan it all out first. Now I don't really need to. I can just kind of do it as I go. But like you said, I do still think about it and then put the copy in. So the structure is number 1, meaning where are they going? So I'm not just going to write it out and then send it. It's in the very beginning, are we asking a question? And then with that beginning question, what is that final, are we sending them to a sales page or an appointment? What's the plan?
The conversion. Yeah.
Thank you. Words. The conversion. So really the structure is always there and the copy comes next.
Yes, definitely. So that's exactly the perfect place to start because this is what all of our students learn, right? Mm-hmm. Conversion first. We have to know where we're headed before we can build the road to get there. And one of the things that I always think of in this whole process is we get to build the road that our prospects take, the vehicle that they take it in, the vehicle they drive on there. Is this vehicle going to be a Ferrari and it's going to get them there fast? Or is it going to be a nice station wagon they can take their family and just meander through and figure things out, right? What kind of vehicle are we traveling in and what road are we taking them on? But ultimately, what's the destination?
Yeah.
We got to
And
know that.
even with that, I know I'm kind of jumping the shark here, so we'll come back to this,
Go.
but even getting that specific with your persona of your bot, which we'll talk about further, but we'll kind of come back to that. But what vehicle would your target audience be in? You know, like, are you talking to people that want Ferraris, or are you talking to people that want minivans? You know, so it all correlates, and we'll dive deeper into what that means.
Yeah.
But that's
Let's
really
dive deeper
important.
into that. Yeah. And not
Okay,
only that,
sure.
I mean, this is the fun part. To me, this is the absolute fun part. And this is kind of what I visualize when I do these things.
Mhm.
So that's exactly it. Are we doing a National Lampoon's, summer vacation,
Yeah.
right? So that we're going to stop at the biggest ball of yarn or whatever the heck
Right.
it was that, what is that? That's going to be very different from Mr. National Lampoon's idea of himself when the beautiful
Right.
blonde drives by, right? So what is that? What are we building? Let's dive into that. So the persona has a lot to do with that. And so persona, when we talk about persona, we're talking about both the bot owner, right? Or the influencer or the brand and the customer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How does that work?
So like you said, exactly, there's two parts of it. There's the brand itself. So for instance, everyone knows Coca-Cola. You know, when you think of it, it's going to be red and white, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's really not a personal brand. I guess they used to have like a polar bear or something. And so they made it more personal.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're thinking of your brand, you think of you're usually the face of the brand. So you have to do it in, just like you said, two ways. One, I'm sure you've talked about this in previous podcasts, that it is actually illegal in a lot of different states to not tell your your bot subscribers that you're a bot. So you have to make sure that they know, hey, this is a bot talking to you, but I'm here. So you make your bot very personable. It's its own being. So for instance, for Messenger Funnels, Mary is our brand, but Messenger Funnels brand is Meffy. So if you go into our bot and you've been a part of it, we have him doing gifts and everything. So you know that when you're in our bot, Mary's not actually messaging you. Sometimes she is, because she's always working, but love her. But other than that, it's also a bot automating. So what we mean by that coming all together is that the automations are the one that's the personal brand to the company, but also when you're really writing the copy, it's coming to hitting the target audience. So is it work from home moms? Is it people in the real estate niche? There's a lot of different ways to come across it, and you need to know what your target audience is because they speak in very different ways.
Yes, absolutely. And so there's a fine line we walk between those two things, because even though, let's say, Messenger Funnels, Meffy is our brand, and Meffy is a fun, kind of geeky kind of persona, but he kind of speaks like I do. Right?
Exactly.
So that's how we kind of marry those two things. He is his own individual being, but he kind of talks with my voice. But then people who are interested in our products and services are going to resonate with that, because I'm going to say the things that align with what they need right now. So I'm not going to attract, if I'm kind of being a techie, geeky, fun person in my bot and in person, I'm not going to align with someone who's in, let's say, the insurance industry. My absolute arch enemy, right?
Right.
I'm not going to align with people who are looking for something like that. Or if you're looking for stock trades and it's a very different pace and a different communication and more, more professional in the sense that we're talking about your money, right?
Yeah.
Where you hold your money and invest your money. That's going to be very different from the persona of Messenger Funnels. So we will be looking to that audience. So it's a very fine line to basically cover both.
Yeah. I think a big question we get a lot about personas that I've seen from our students has been when to really use it and really be coming from the bot, and when to seem more like you're coming from the brand. And so I would say really think about when you're coming, like when would the bot be responding? So things like the default reply, or when you're being asked, like a lot of times in our client's bot and our bot, we will do things like talk to a human, or I have more questions. And then we think of fun ways to respond to that. And that's really when the bot's persona comes in. But when you're doing copy to nurture people along, that's more when the bot's persona can merge with the brand's persona.
And the prospect's persona.
And the prospect's persona.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because you can pull at their pain points and their nurturing.
Completely. That's when those two things merge. You got it.
Yep.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. So bot buddies listening, I hope you're getting some really key aspects to how you can design your bot. And I know we've talked a lot about persona and all of that, but I have to tell you, if you don't get this part, if you don't start with this, you will not be as successful. You will come off more salesy. You'll come off more aloof. You'll come off more general and generic and vanilla than if you did this. If you do this, you will be more specific. You'll be more targeted. I know you're scared of this because lots of people are scared of niching down and picking a side, right? It's a very scary thing for a lot of people, but I guarantee you, if you're true to that side, if you're true to that persona, you will be true to the people who need you. You got to do it. So yes, spend your time here, and it will pay you dividends, many more dividends in the end than just quick, direct sales kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I add to that real quick?
Oh, please.
I would say the number one tip I would give before, if you could take anything from this, is what we often tell our students is that when you preview a message before you send it out to people and you're on your phone, always preview on your phone as well as your desktop. And when you preview it on your phone and you're interacting with it, if it doesn't feel like you're texting with a friend or a mentor, it's not right. And you need to go back and iterate it a little more. And even if the copy is more from a very businessy standpoint, that should just be more of that mentor business mentality. But it should feel natural. It shouldn't feel, like you said, very sleazy, Carsman salesy. So if you're interacting with it and you feel uncomfortable, no.
That's a key, key indicator.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect tip. And I would take that the next step too, in the sense of the size or the length of the messages you're sending.
Yep.
So if you would text in a big long paragraph, which I don't know very many people who do, there's a balance between the two. Sometimes we just keep going and keep typing before we hit enter, right? I do that. I do. But you need to do the same thing there. And make sure that now we can kind of transition into the structure of the bot. Then you make sure your typing delays are sufficient so that people can actually take the time to read what you just sent them, as if it's texting back and forth. So that's very important. And we typically use the number of lines, right? Can you tell them that little tip as to how long they should have a text typing delay?
Yeah, so your typing delay should be the number of lines you have in a text block. So we try not to go over really 4 lines. Really 5 would be max. And then if you had 4 lines, then you would have a 4-second typing delay. And an extra tip, a secret tip here, is if you have an image and it has a lot of information on it, then put an extra typing delay and have it not typing. It's just a delay, and then add a little typing delay so that way it comes back up like, hang on, I have more to say to you.
I'm still here.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yes. So did you get that, bot buddies? Listen to that, what she just said. If you have an image first and it has any text in it, any information you want someone to consume.
Like a testimonial.
Yes. A testimonial, even if it's a cartoon, right, that has some kind of, you need to give people time to actually consume that, understand it, and then you come back into the bot with a typing delay. So the first delay was non-typing, just to give them time. The second delay is typing delay to let them know, I've got more to tell you. Don't go away. So it's typing, showing them that the bot is typing. Brilliant. That's exactly right. So again, that ties right into what Alexys just said, which is if it doesn't feel right to you, in other words, if that image gets delivered and then immediately, boom, the text under it gets delivered and you didn't even get a chance to go up and see what that image was about, that's not going to be conducive to an engaging interaction. You need to make it so in other words, you wouldn't text it that way. You would text the image and it would take you time to type. So yes,
exactly.
Brilliant. Okay, so now let's kind of marry that with a structure. So there are any other tips or any other ideas and this is another question that we get a lot, how do we know how many messages we should send before we ask for the sale, right? Or before we ask for whatever the conversion is? How do we know how many messages in the same day we should send? And then what about follow-up messages? How many follow-up messages should we have? If we can, obviously with Facebook rules, terms of service. Right? Yeah. Are there any tips that you can give, like conditions and tags and all that good stuff?
I could talk for hours on that one, so I'll try to keep that. That should probably be a whole different podcast episode, actually. Write that down. But this is very by case basis, in my opinion, because it depends on two main things, which we were actually talking about earlier. It depends on how warm your audience is. So, were you just communicating with them? Did they come from a Facebook ad or a live or a comment tool? And so they already know you really well and it's been really recent. If so, you can just do a little bit of nurturing and probably send them to a sales page or whatever the conversion is. But if this is a broadcast and you haven't spoken to this person in a while, you need to nurture, you need to give them value, or else they're probably going to unsubscribe, which is fine, but but let it happen. So it depends on one, how warm they are, and also the price of the ticket, how high ticket the item is. Because if it's a $20 challenge, you can probably get people in pretty quick. Nurture, they're in. But if it's a $5,000 course, you're going to need to provide value, a webinar, testimonials, and then maybe an application, which you can do in the bot. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Isn't that amazing?
Again, whole nother podcast episode.
A whole other one. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is all stuff that we put in our course, so we'll just have to we'll have to kind of show the basics of what we do in a YouTube video. So don't worry, Bot Buddies, we got you covered. But the reason Alexys says that is because we have a client that we were working with, or clients that we worked with, where they're still sending for high ticket items. They're sending people to a type form or a Google form.
Google form.
Yeah, and that is there. That's not dynamic. That's not engage. You can't send people to different parts. So like our application, that puppy's got lots of different branches in it, right? So that if you can qualify completely to work with us, then we send you straight to our calendar link. If you're not quite there yet, and that some of the things that we can't really help you with, then we'll send you to other pieces of value that will help you get to wherever you want to go. But it's not just like a calendar or a form, and then it just stops, and then somebody has to contact you.
Yeah, and then you're just sitting there, and you're like, what's happening?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Does anybody hear me, please? Anybody out there?
Yes. But to answer your question about conditions and how many in a day and all of that, while all of that does depend on, what I said, you need to be careful how many messages you send in a day. I know that the 24-hour rule is scary. And so sometimes we try to some people try to cram that all in to one day. But think about it. If you've ever gotten a lot of emails or even messages from other people, I've gotten some from old clients that we stopped working with, and I've been like, I'm gonna unsubscribe from that. So number one thing I would do is make an opt-in tag for your first, whatever you're doing, if it's a broadcast or a follow-up, and just a basic bland opt-in, and then a condition that says if they press that tag, you give them the next message. And that's if you're doing it within the 23 hours. And then from there on, it can be, usually within a week, maybe 2 or 3 more messages, depending on if this is like a live launch. Again, this is a very case-by-case basis. Yeah. But use that tag, or even just the last interaction field, I guess would be the right word, because if they didn't even interact and you're just still sending it to them, now it's possible people are going to block you and your page is going to get shut down. So
yeah. And Alexys, I know we're jumping to the worst case scenario with your bot being shut down, but we understand that very well. We know what that looks like. And yes, if people aren't interested, even if you come back in and you've seen this a lot in emails, in email funnels, where you come back in and say, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while, or, we noticed you haven't really been opening our emails. If you don't want to be part of our group, no problem, unsubscribe here. You can do the same thing in the bot. Just say, hey, you know what? We haven't really seen any interaction from you for a while. And we really don't want to keep sending you messages and bugging you. So if you want to unsubscribe, here's the button. Otherwise, we'll chat soon.
Yeah. Because how much better would it feel if you had like 10,000 subscribers, but like 9,000 of them were like purchased, obviously that was extreme, but
90% is a good thing. Yeah. But even if it's 20%, even if it's 2,000 people out of 10,000 and your product is $9.97, you just made a chunk of change.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Even if your product is, 47, 2,000 of them. That's still, and then you can upsell to the next thing you've got. Yeah, totally agree. So I'd rather be safe than sorry in that respect. I'd rather give them all kinds of opportunities and say, hey, if you don't want to hear from us, we really don't want to bug you. Otherwise, if you don't press that next button, or if you don't interact with us next, we will unsubscribe you so that we don't keep bugging you. That's a really good way to add the urgency and get them really find out, are you here or are you not?
Yeah.
And then you can actually do an automatic, and anyone who doesn't tag this, unsubscribe them from the bot, if you really wanted to be honest.
Yeah, that's a challenge. Who's actually going to do that?
Yeah. Let's see. Anybody who actually think that's a good idea and would like to do that, because I'm telling you, I would much rather have a small list of white hot people who really love what we're saying and are engaged with what we're saying than a huge list of people who really don't care.
And that's how you build a community, and that's the whole point of Messenger. So that's, it's not, Messenger isn't email.
Nope.
So yeah.
Yes. All right. So anything else we need to talk about in the structure of the bot? I mean, we've talked, conditions are a really good thing to use. Split testing, when you want to just test out one thing or another, change one little thing. Those are really good to use. What about custom fields versus tags? Do you have any tips about that?
In my experience, I use tags all the time because it's the best way to track all of your prospects and figure out where they've been, especially, like I said, during launches, and figure out where they've gone, where they ended up. But with custom fields, I really only suggest using them. Now, again, this is not from like a bot building perspective. This is talking about copy. So, I'm not Al. So
you're not Al Friedel. We get it.
He's amazing. He uses them in a whole different way. But this is just about copy. So I would only suggest using them if it's something that you're going to be changing frequently. So for instance, we have a couple trivia quizzes for a client, and we actually are using them weekly. And so we change the name of the field each week, or if it's a user custom field, so they actually can give us their information. But we do have one client that was, when we started working for them, was using custom fields as tags, and that's not necessary. It's actually very confusing.
Right.
So tags are just the way to go, and custom fields are a way to bring your bot to the next level. Right.
Yes. And tags are really that's what they're designed as, to tag someone actually taking an action.
Yes.
Right. And that's it. That's all we want to do, is tag whether or not they took this action. Yes. And then once we have that tag, we can then segment the people through a condition saying, all right, bot, anybody who actually did take this action with this tag, do this. If they didn't, do this. And it's so much easier. I get so confused. This is one of the things I got to talk to Al about, because he does this all the time, and it just flips my brain. All right. Okay. It totally flips my brain, because what he does is he says, if the tag isn't this.
Oh, I know. I'm
like, what the flip? Why?
I do that sometimes. It kind of depends on my mood. I won't lie. Sometimes I do like the if it is yes, which totally makes the most sense. But sometimes I'm like, if it isn't. Like, Kind of just depends on how I feel that day.
Just shake it up. Oh my gosh. I had to look really closely at that because then it flips my brain. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, wait. So if it isn't this, then the yes answer to that is that it's not tagged. So go here. But then if the no answer to it's like a double negative. I'm like, dude, stop.
Well, Bot Buddies, what you didn't know is that building a bot actually is helping you fight Alzheimer's. So
yes,
there you go.
I'm
it's
covered.
A mind game.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. That's exactly it, because it totally it totally flips my brain. And then one of the clients that I was consulting with, okay, so lots of times what we're talking about with Alexys and I, lots of times we have people come to us and say, well, we've already got a bot. We don't need you to build us a bot and do all this from scratch, but we've got it and it's not converting that well. So we need you to like review what we've done.
Yeah.
We call that a bot copy breakdown. That's because really we look at the bot, we look at the structure, we look at the lead generation, we look at all those things of the build part. Mm-hmm. And one client that I was doing this for, I was looking at, and they had this exact condition. So here's what they did. They said, all right, the condition was, if it isn't this tag, and that's a yes, then go here, which means that they don't have the tag. And then in the next condition, the no part was, well, if they do have this tag, then they didn't have a yes for that. They only had the no for that. So basically, both of those conditions were the exact same thing.
That happened with another client too.
But that said the opposite things, right? If it isn't this and that's a yes, that means they don't have it. Then go here. But if they do have the tag, but that's a no, or if the tag is this, but it's a no, then go here. I'm like, dude, that's the exact same thing. That's the exact same thing. You're not getting anything different. It's saying the exact same thing, but two different ways.
Sometimes like you just need another eye, though. Sometimes you really do. Like a lot of times why I love working together, you're on my screen, so I'm all together.
I
know. But a lot of times why I love working together is because sometimes I know I'm good at what I do, but I'll be like, Mary, can you just look at this? Because I just need to make sure that these custom fields and all these conditions are just set up right. So
totally.
Sometimes just sending it to another bot buddy and being like, did I do this right? Is the best thing.
Does it make sense? Because I've been down in this thing for the last 4 hours and
you can get really stuck in the weeds, especially when it comes to bots.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that's one of the things that we offer is we can go in and check things and say, well, gosh, this is pretty blunt. You're not doing any nurturing at all. You're not doing like, hey, welcome. Thanks for blah, blah, blah. None of that. It's really just, hey, boom, boom, boom. And, that's not, I'm a blunt person, but I usually add a, hi, how you doing to the beginning of my messages, right? Yeah. Even though I would initially just want to go, let's get down to business here. Let's just get through this fluff. Yeah. I'm not really a fluffy kind of gal. Okay, good. So anything else about I think we pretty much covered a lot of what we do, a lot of the tips, the really daily things that we do with both the copy and the structure and the
that was
details.
A lot of secrets and tips.
Yeah. This is really what we do, guys. This is what we do every day, all day for all of our clients. So I hope you're writing this down, or at least rewinding and listening again and getting these tips, because this is how we get, like Allison Prince with, $1 million in 99 days. And this client that we are tasked to get a lot of subscribers, we're getting them a lot of subscribers. Within 5 days, I think we were up by almost 20,000 subscribers in less than 5 days. And that's just continuing. That's just with a very small Facebook ads budget and a lot of nurturing in the bot.
Yeah. And that's exciting because next week we'll talk about the iterations of that, which is a way different thing.
It is a different thing, but it is, if you just build this like we're talking about, that's fantastic. Yes. You've done a great job. But if you just stop there, you are missing the dessert in this meal. You are missing the ultimate part that will turn this into a machine, a conversion machine, which is the iteration. That's what turns. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, definitely. I would say the iterations is where you get the results, and this is where you lay the groundwork.
Completely. All right. So let's talk about lead generation. I know we don't spend a lot of time on lead generation because there are a lot of things in the bot we can do, but there are a lot of things with Facebook ads and Facebook Lives and, Instagram stories, whatever. So with lead generation, how do we bring what do we typically do, and how do we look at the bot from a lead generation standpoint?
Mm-hmm. So I bring it back to what I said very much in the beginning of our call, which would be it has to relate to the very end conversion.
Right.
So speaking of the client we were talking about just a couple minutes ago, where we have a weekly trivia game. So that trivia game leads to another piece of value in the bot, and then it leads to the conversion. So when I think of lead generation, I think of quizzes, I think of lead magnets, I think of even
Viral
just like a
giveaways.
viral giveaway, which our amazing friend Al does, so I think of ways to bring people into the bot, because just like we were complaining about how those type forms, you're losing out, because if you bring people into the bot, you can follow up, you can give them more value. And so really with lead generation, it needs to be congruent with your offer, but you're not actually offering anything. You're not selling anything. You're just giving them something fun to do or something really valuable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes. And there are so many ways. Like I said, Facebook ad, Instagram ad, YouTube ad, Google ad. If you want to spend money, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But there are lots of ways where you don't have to spend a lot of money. So even giveaways. One client that we just did with Al, again, our great, amazing buddy, Al Friedel.
His ears must be on fire.
He must be. I'm going to have to message him and say, hey, were you like itching in the back of your neck or something today? Because we were just chatting about you like crazy. And it was all good. Don't worry. It was all good. But he has templates, localmarketingpro.io, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's localmarketingpro.io. I have an affiliate link, but just go straight to him. I don't care.
We can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, show notes if you want. That's cool. But he has some amazing templates. And we have one client that we're doing a test for, building out something really amazing for restaurants. But we're just testing on one restaurant. And this restaurant, we just started, our good buddy and teammate, Jordash Johnson, he's incredible. He just set all this up for this test client, and he started ads yesterday. We're talking yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. $5 a day for a giveaway, and it's a giveaway for this restaurant for a free entree. It's one of their signature entrees, award-winning entrees. Okay, so we're going to do a giveaway to one person who wins for that entree. $5 a day. So we've only spent $5 so far on that, and we've already gotten 25 actual opt-ins to the bot, and 15 of those people have referred a friend now.
Yeah.
So 25 total subscribers, and 15 of them, more than half, have clicked to add another entry and refer a friend to the contest. So that's incredible, because now that's increasing our subscribers without having to pay more money.
Yep.
But there's the giveaway. He also started a birthday campaign for the birthday bot from Al's birthday bot. And again, $5 a day. We haven't even paid $5 yet because it hasn't even been 24 hours. And we already have someone who's redeemed the birthday offer to go into the restaurant and purchase a meal for $78 and some change.
I didn't know that one. That's so exciting.
I know. I was just going to tell you before we started recording, but I wanted to keep us focused on the bot stuff. But I can't. Now it fits.
Wow. See, guys, there's no excuses. There's always something you can be doing, even if you have a very small budget. Just be honest with your client and be like, this is what my plan is. This is what I want to do. What are you comfortable with? If you want to do ad spend, and if you don't, there's so much you can do organically. I mean, oh my gosh, we have so many freebies about organic stuff. We shouldn't spend our time on that. But,
no, totally. Yeah. But that is and the giveaway part is from a Facebook post, right? Yeah. So we start with the Facebook post that has a link to go into the bot and comments and blah, blah, blah. And then you turn that into an ad. So the beginning part of that hasn't even been an ad yet, right? Just to get the post up and get some engagement on it, then you turn it into an ad. But yeah, we have so many, you really just have to add in, if you're posting on a regular basis, which but that's okay. If you're posting on a regular basis, you can add those lead magnets to your post regiment and say, hey, if you want this, this, and this, comment on this post. Or if you want this, this, and this, go to the link in my bio and Linktree on Instagram or whatever, and get them into your bot to get what it is you're talking about. You don't do that every single time you post, obviously. No. but at least let's say 20%, 25% of the time that you post, have something you're giving them in exchange for them becoming a subscriber, and you're feeding your bot constantly.
Yeah. And you can create evergreen lead magnets as well. Like I said, like the quiz and that viral giveaway. There's things that you can create that might be a lot of grunt work up front, but really pay off in the end.
Yes. We have one quiz for Messenger funnels. It's basically, would you survive the chatbot apocalypse?
Yeah.
And that is pinned in our website. It is also, I think, pinned on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
So that you can take that quiz anytime, and it leads you through exactly what we're talking about. How are you handling your bot? How are you handling if Facebook all of a sudden shut down, which it has done several times, and all of a sudden it's shut down and you can't get to any of your stuff? How would you react? What would you do? And that definitely sets you through and shows you the process that we go through. No matter whether Facebook's up or down, we are still going to do things the way we know are right, which is exactly what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. All right. So the only other thing I want to add about lead generation or any of this bot build that we're talking about is, obviously, there are two camps in here that we're talking, two people that we're talking to. If you are an entrepreneur and this is your bot and you are building it yourself, or you've had it built and now you're going in to take a look at it and try and iterate it and try and figure out what the heck to do with the thing, then you can use any of these techniques that we're talking about, because you know your brand, you know your avatar, you know your audience. Or if you are a bot builder or conversational marketer, conversational designer, and you want to get agency clients and you're doing this for your clients, then obviously you can take this and 10x it for 10 different clients and go customized for each of their niches and their audiences and all of those things. And you can use these exact same principles we're talking about for every single client, and like we do, for yourself.
Yep.
For your own bot business. You should definitely have a bot with lead generation that takes people through to an application and allows them to get on a call with you. You should, if minimum in your own bot, that should exist.
Yeah. And I think that's true for both an entrepreneur and a agency. Obviously, it depends on what the entrepreneur is offering, but especially for an agency, if you want other people to come to you to have you build their bot, they want to experience what your work is like. So your bot is really your portfolio. It's really your resume, because we don't really do those in the space anymore. So you want your bot to be the very best it can be. When we've looked for copywriters and people that come on, I go through their bots. And if it's not up to our standards, I stop looking. So
that's right. That's exactly
implement.
Right. Yes. We have been so fortunate to have people come to us and make amazingly wonderful, kind comments about our bot and about what it does and the copywriting and the conversation and the design of it. And that right there has brought us more business than anything else. Just having what we do be represented for ourselves in addition to our clients. So yes, I agree 100%. All right. I think we've covered everything in that initial build start, that build section. Alexys and I are going to be back next week with the next section. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. But in the meantime, if you want to hear about it or talk about it or see exactly what we've been talking about and get this PDF that I held up for you and all the details of what we do, all you have to do is go to mkjconversionmethod.com, and that will be tied to our bot, and it will allow you to come into the bot, get this PDF and some of the information that we've been talking about. If you're interested in a bot copy breakdown, like we've been talking about, and having us come in and just review your bot, you can ask us about that in the bot when you get this PDF, and we would love to help you do that, because as we've talked about, this is the most fun, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
I love this stuff, the copywriting and the structure, all that. That is the most fun.
It's amazing. Yep.
All right. So if we can help you, we would love to. In the meantime, thanks for listening. Go back and listen to it again. Believe me, this right here is exactly how we have gotten our messenger funnels to multiple six figures, very, very fast approaching seven figures in client work, not just in our students, in client work, agency work. So if that's what you want, and if you want your bot to have that kind of conversion, then do this, please. It works.
And we want to see your successes. Let us know.
Yes, please share. We'd love to know. Share. Yeah. All right, Alexys, thanks for chatting. I'm going to see you in just a couple of minutes on the next episode, but thanks for doing this. This is pretty cool, huh? Isn't it fun?
Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me share these gems.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, this is the gal. Look her up. She's the gal. All right. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Alexys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the My Chatbot Life podcast. To watch this video chat, visit mychatbotlife.com and get all the rocket boosters you need for your own chatbot success.